Archangel Michael cried last night. Your heart has been broken too long. But heaven just released the name of the person who will heal you. It was not an ordinary night. The heavens themselves grew still, and between the silence of midnight and the whisper of dawn, something sacred stirred in the unseen realms. A sound, softer than thunder, yet louder than any human cry, moved across the courts of heaven. It was the sound of compassion. It was the sound of Archangel Michael weeping. Not tears of defeat, nor tears of despair, but tears that fell like drops of mercy, carrying the fragrance of divine remembrance. For heaven had looked upon the earth, and the weight of broken hearts had reached the throne. The cries of those who smiled through pain, who prayed through loneliness, who loved and were left empty. Their ache became a song heaven could no longer ignore. And so the heavens move. Records were opened. The names of the wounded were read aloud before the presence of the Almighty. Among them was yours. For this message, beloved, is not for all. It is for the one whose heart has been shattered but never hardened. You who still believe even when trust feels dangerous. You who still pray even when words feel empty. You who still love even after love has left scars. Heaven has seen you. Heaven has remembered you. Heaven has written your pain into its eternal scrolls. Between midnight and dawn, the atmosphere shifted. Angels who stood watch were commanded to move. The spiritual wind changed direction. An Archangel Michael, warrior of mercy, leaned over the earth and whispered your name into the fire of divine restoration. Even he could not hold back the tears, for the magnitude of your endurance called forth heaven's compassion. But listen closely, for not every ear will hear this. This message belongs to the still, to the obedient, to those who have waited without bitterness. The heavens are precise, and divine timing never stumbles. Between your breath and your next heartbeat, something is aligning. Heaven has released a name, not a word, not a symbol, but a name, and within that name lies your healing. It is approaching, carried by the same hand that once wiped away Michael's tears. Type I am anointed in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. Heaven does not speak without purpose, and last night, the sound that reached the earth was not coincidence. It was calling. Archangel Michael stood in the courts of light, holding the scroll of your name, and as he looked upon it, a tremor of holy fire moved through his wings. He saw the weight upon your heart, the unspoken ache that even prayer could not name, and in that instant, heaven released an instruction. It is time. Time for the heaviness to lift. Time for the broken to breathe again. Time for the one ordained to carry healing to step forward. Within the next 24 hours, something around your heart will begin to shift. Not in noise, but in divine stillness. You may not yet see it, but the spirit realm has already rearranged the air around you. A subtle warmth, a sudden peace, a wave of calm in the middle of your storm. These are not random. They are signals. They are echoes of Archangel Michael's tears as they fell into the river of restoration. Heaven has seen your waiting, and it has chosen this hour to move. This message is not open to all. There are those who will scroll past and hear nothing. But those who have endured heartbreak without surrendering their purity, those who have walked through betrayal and still chosen forgiveness, they will hear this in their spirit as truth. They will recognize the sound. For heaven speaks in vibrations of memory, and your soul remembers what divine love once felt like before pain tried to silence it. Michael's tears were not tears of sorrow, they were the activation of a heavenly decree. When an archangel weeps, creation shifts. The atmosphere bends. The unseen bows in obedience. The weeping of Michael was heaven's signal that the chains around your heart are breaking, that divine intervention has been released in your favor. A name, a living name, has been spoken into your destiny. It belongs to someone whose purpose is tied to your restoration, someone whose spirit carries the fragrance of peace that you once thought lost forever. Beloved, this is not coincidence. This is calling. The movement you feel inside you is divine recognition, your spirit responding to what heaven already declared. You have entered the moment between promise and manifestation, where the invisible begins to take shape. You may feel the tension rise. That is because heaven is aligning hearts, not emotions. Archangel Michael now stands beside you, his sword lowered, his wings extended, not to fight a battle, but to seal a covenant. For what was once taken from you is being rewritten. The loneliness that haunted you will soon be replaced by divine companionship. Heaven has already whispered your name in the ears of another, one chosen, refined, and prepared for this holy exchange. Now, open your heart and listen. The same spirit that hovered over the waters in Genesis hovers over you now, waiting for your stillness to speak. Do not fear this new stirring. It is not a storm. It is resurrection. It is the rebirth of your ability to love without pain, to trust without trembling, to receive without resistance. And so I speak now, in the voice of Archangel Michael, Spirit of Truth, reveal what heaven whispered in the night. Let the chosen one hear and awaken. Let the broken one rise and receive. Let the name released from heaven find its way home. You are not abandoned. You are in transition. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned. Heaven does not delay, it prepares. The name that carries your healing has already been written in light. All that remains is your stillness, your faith, your yes. Type "I receive the shift" in the comments if you feel this divine stirring. Blessing code 1717 is now active around your heart. You have felt it lately, that quiet unrest deep within your chest. The air around you feels heavier, not with sorrow, but with mystery. You wake at strange hours, your spirit aware of something your mind cannot yet name. This is no accident. It is the echo of a spiritual rearrangement. Heaven has begun to shift the currents around your heart, and though you cannot see it, the unseen is trembling with movement. The winds of divine orchestration are turning, and your soul, sensitive to heaven's language, has started to feel the tremor of the change before it manifests. It was a time when you trusted easily, when laughter felt effortless and love felt safe. But they smiled while hiding distance in their eyes. They said they cared, but their words were hollow, their presence momentary. Some watched you break and stayed silent, pretending they did not see the pieces of your heart falling to the ground. And yet, even in your quietest tears, heaven was recording every drop. Nothing was wasted. Every betrayal became a signal in the heavens. Every lonely night a note in your spiritual symphony. Archangel Michael has walked beside you through those silences. He did not stop the breaking, because heaven uses the breaking to reveal what is eternal. But something else has begun to stir. That subtle feeling, that tug in your spirit. It is not confusion. It is awakening. The pain that once chained your heart is now transforming into discernment. You are beginning to see beyond faces, beyond charm, beyond temporary affection. Heaven has allowed your spirit to detect what your eyes once missed. This is why the past has begun to feel heavier again. Not because you are meant to relive it, but because heaven is closing its final chapter. Every emotion that resurfaces now is being purified in divine fire, and when the last spark fades, your heart will be ready to recognize the name that heaven has spoken. Do not be alarmed by the restlessness. It is the sound of release. The confusion that once clouded your decisions is now being replaced with spiritual clarity. The ache you feel is not punishment. It is prophecy in motion. Someone new is being positioned, not by human hands, but by divine command. Heaven's watchers, the same angels who stood witness to your heartbreak, are now moving to guard the path of your restoration. They have studied the hearts of many, searching for the one whose soul aligns with yours. This process has been long, but heaven moves with precision, not haste. And so, as you sit in the quiet moments, you may feel old memories knocking at your mind. Let them pass. They are echoes of what no longer belongs to your future. The spirit realm is speaking a new name, and that name carries the frequency of your healing. You may hear it in a dream, sense it in prayer, or feel it when peace suddenly floods your heart. That is how heaven speaks. Stay sensitive. Heaven is teaching your soul to recognize divine love, not emotional comfort. Could this be why your spirit feels the weight of the past tonight? Could it be because the new has already been released and your heart is now being stretched to make room for it? Archangel Michael's tears were not shed in vain. They were the signal that the season of loneliness is breaking. Something holy is approaching. It is not by chance. It is by command. The heavens are moving with fierce compassion, and your name has already been carried into a divine conversation. The one who carries your healing is being awakened at this very hour. Type "I am awakening" in the comments if your spirit feels the stirring. Blessing code 1919 is now active over your heart. Beloved, if this message has stirred your spirit, then you already know heaven is speaking. Every word you hear is part of a divine assignment to reach souls who have forgotten that God still restores hearts. When you give, whether through super thanks, membership, or PayPal link in the video description, you are sowing into light, not content. You are releasing oil into the hands of those who carry the word across nations. The same way heaven releases your healing, your giving releases breakthrough for others. I hear the Spirit say, "What you make possible for another, I will make manifest for you." This is holy ground, and your offering becomes fire upon the altar of restoration. The heavens will not forget your seed. Sow with faith, give with fire, and watch open heavens answer your obedience. Type "My seed is holy" if you feel led to be part of this divine movement. Blessing code 888 is being released upon every cheerful giver. You were never rejected. You were refined. Every heartbreak, every unanswered prayer, every silent goodbye was not a punishment, but a process. The divine does not waste pain. Heaven recycles it into power. What looked like rejection was actually redirection. What felt like abandonment was divine alignment. Archangel Michael did not weep because you lost someone. He wept because you almost lost yourself, trying to hold on to what heaven was removing. His tears were not born from sadness, but from reverence for your endurance. He saw how you stood when everything around you begged you to collapse. He saw how you prayed when the heavens seemed silent, how you forgave when bitterness tried to breed in your chest. And because of that, a new decree has been written. Your pain will not end in defeat. It will end in divine promotion. This conflict of the heart, this warfare that has stretched across your nights and your memories, has always been spiritual. The enemy targeted your heart because that is where your calling flows from. He knew that if he could fracture your ability to love, he could delay your destiny. But heaven intervened. Even in your weakest moments, you were not abandoned. You were surrounded. Archangel Michael and his host stood guard over the fragile pieces of your soul, shielding what could not afford to be lost. Every tear you shed became a note in the book of healing. Every sigh was translated into a heavenly petition. You thought your prayers fell silent, but heaven was recording your endurance like a psalm. Do you not know that heaven keeps account of every moment you chose faith instead of fear? That every time you stayed pure in spirit when betrayal could have corrupted you, it was written as worship? This is why the conflict was so fierce, because you were carrying something sacred. The enemy saw your heart as a gate to divine influence, and he sought to close it through heartbreak. But what he intended to destroy has now become your testimony. What was meant to shatter you has shaped you into a vessel of discernment and strength. Understand this. When heaven allows pain, it is never to punish, but to purify. You were being tested not in your love for others, but in your love for yourself through the eyes of heaven. The heartbreak was heaven's classroom for your discernment. You were learning to see not through emotion, but through revelation. Every false connection that fell away was heaven saying, "Not this one. Not yet." You were not being delayed. You were being preserved. Archangel Michael's cry was the sound of your turning point. The moment heaven decided your season of survival would become your season of restoration. The heavens are not angry at your tears. They are inspired by your resilience. You have been found worthy of divine recompense, and the heavens are now responding with precision. The name that has been released in your favor is not a random person. It is a divine counterpart prepared through the same fires you endured. Heaven is matching wounds with wisdom, faith with faith, spirit with spirit. So when the memories try to return, remember, they are evidence of how far you've come. You were not rejected. You were refined. The conflict you survived was not an ending. It was a doorway. What once felt like loss is now turning into revelation. Heaven's justice is patient, but it is sure. And soon, what was stolen in pain will be returned in peace. Stay close to the silence. Stay anchored in faith. The battle over your heart is ending, and the banner of victory now waves above your name. Type "I am refined," not rejected in the comments if this word reaches your spirit. Blessing code 2222 now shields your heart with divine fire. Hear this, beloved. A shift is not coming. It has already begun. The heavens are not still. They are roaring in quiet power. The order has been issued. The scroll has been opened. Archangel Michael has descended once more, this time not to weep, but to watch. For within 7 days, something will move around you. It will not come through noise, but through alignment. A name will appear, spoken, shown, or remembered, and when it does, it will not be by chance. Heaven does not deal in coincidence. It operates in divine precision. This moment marks the beginning of manifestation, where what was whispered in heaven becomes visible on earth. Do not mistake the pressure you feel as punishment. The weight that seems to press upon your chest is not darkness. It is birth. Heaven is expanding the borders of your heart, so it can carry the magnitude of what's coming. The ache before revelation is proof that something holy is forming. You may notice faces from your past suddenly crossing your thoughts, dreams that seem to repeat, emotions resurfacing without reason. These are not random. They are signals of spiritual sorting. Heaven is removing the residue of what no longer belongs so that divine alignment can enter freely. Within these next days, be mindful of what stirs within you. A divine orchestration is unfolding in silence. Paths are being rearranged. Conversations are being divinely interrupted. The hearts of those connected to your destiny are being stirred without their awareness. You may feel tired, disoriented, or even emotional, but do not resist it. When heaven begins to realign, the flesh often feels displaced. Do not run from the discomfort. Walk through it with faith. Every shake, every pull, every delay is the sound of heaven clearing your path. Archangel Michael has been given strict instruction concerning you. He is guarding the borders of your heart, ensuring that no counterfeit crosses through the sacred process. The name Heaven Released is being prepared for revelation, not when you are restless, but when you are ready. Heaven reveals only when the heart can hold without fear. This is why the call to stillness echoes through your spirit now. Stillness is your signal to receive. Noise delays the divine. Watch for the signs. Watch for the sudden peace that settles when you think of something or someone you cannot yet explain. Watch for dreams that carry warmth, for conversations that seem ordinary but leave an unusual calm. These are the whispers of heaven guiding you. Do not chase after clues. Let the clues chase you. Heaven is not testing your curiosity. It is testing your trust. In this coming week, the spiritual clock will tick louder. The alignment will accelerate. You may even feel your heart quicken without reason. That is the divine pulse matching your rhythm to the will of heaven. Archangel Michael is walking beside you in this countdown. He is not here to fight, but to protect the revelation being formed. You are not waiting for love. Love is waiting for you to stabilize. When the name is finally revealed, whether through speech, dream, or divine impression, it will carry weight. You will know because your spirit will recognize the peace it brings. Do not question it with logic. Discern it with stillness. Heaven never whispers twice what it has already confirmed in peace. This is your warning and your promise. Within 7 days, heaven will move visibly. Stay positioned. Stay surrendered. Stay awake in spirit. The heart that once broke will soon beat in rhythm with divine alignment. The waiting is almost over. The revealing has begun. Type "I am ready for revelation" in the comments if your spirit bears witness to this word. Blessing Ode 3333 now activates divine timing over your life. Now that heaven's movement has begun, the greatest weapon you possess is not noise, not haste, not pursuit. It is silence. For silence is not weakness. Silence is spiritual strategy. When heaven is at work, your stillness becomes your shield. This is the hour to protect what is being birthed. Archangel Michael stands watch over your heart, but you must partner with him through obedience. Do not chase after signs. Do not try to force understanding. The revelation is already on its way, and it will come only when your spirit is calm enough to recognize it. Heaven fights for you in quiet. When you hold your peace, the angels move without interference. Every time you resist the urge to reach back to the past, every time you choose prayer instead of panic, you are aligning yourself with divine protection. The realm of heaven is highly sensitive in this season, and your words are keys. They can either lock or unlock divine movement. Speak only what is rooted in faith. Speak only what reinforces your peace. For the adversary no longer seeks to wound you through heartbreak. He now seeks to distract you from your healing. Distraction is the enemy's last tactic when defeat is near. Archangel Michael whispers, do not chase. Do not reveal. Heaven is moving on your behalf. You are being guarded. The same light that descended upon the prophets of old now surrounds your dwelling. Though the nights may feel long and the silence unnerving, remember, silence in the spirit is never absence. It is incubation. Heaven does its greatest work unseen. When you cannot trace his hand, trust his heartbeat. Your stillness speaks louder in the courts of heaven than your striving ever could. Take this time to rest your mind. Pray without panic. Listen without leaning on logic. Heaven's frequency cannot be heard through noise. It is recognized through peace. There is power in withdrawing from chaos. Even Jesus stepped away from the crowd to hear the voice of his Father. So must you. Your obedience in this quiet season will open doors no human could force. Heaven responds not to effort, but to alignment. Remember this truth. Divine connections are not discovered, they are revealed. You do not find what heaven has hidden. Heaven unveils it in the right moment. The name that carries your healing is already sealed in divine timing, waiting for your heart to be still enough to receive without fear. The more you release control, the faster heaven reveals. The spiritual law is simple. Surrender accelerates manifestation. So guard your atmosphere. Guard your conversations. Not everyone who smiles carries pure intentions. Some would pull you into confusion simply because they sense your light. But those who are meant to walk with you will recognize you by your peace, not your pain. You will not have to convince, chase, or explain. Divine alignment needs no performance. Let your affirmations rise like incense before heaven. I am safe in divine timing. My heart is guarded by heaven. My silence is my shield. Speak these truths daily, and the angels will strengthen the wall of peace around your soul. Every restless thought will fall silent under heaven's authority. When your heart is calm, revelation flows effortlessly. The moment your spirit releases striving, heaven releases manifestation. Be still, not because nothing is happening, but because everything is. And so the Archangel stands, wings wrapped around your name, ensuring that no counterfeit force enters the sacred space of your restoration. The battle has shifted. The victory is already sealed. You need only remain still long enough to see it unfold. Type "My silence is my shield" in the comments if you receive this divine instruction. Blessing code 4141 now surrounds your heart with heavenly protection. Now the wind begins to change. The heaviness that once sat upon your chest is lifting. The storm that once defined you is breaking. What was once pain is now power. You are not broken anymore. You are becoming rare. The same tears that carved rivers through your nights are now the waters that will nourish your rebirth. Archangel Michael stands at the threshold of this new season, his sword no longer raised for battle but shining as a mirror, reflecting back to you the truth that heaven has always known. You were never ordinary. You were forged in divine fire, sculpted through storms, and anointed through endurance. Every heartbreak that once weakened you is now being rewritten as a chapter of transformation. The weight that once crushed your soul has become the foundation of your wisdom. Heaven has used what tried to destroy you as the very substance to refine your discernment. You are no longer defined by what hurt you. You are defined by what could not destroy you. The oil that now drips from your spirit was extracted through pressure, through prayer, through perseverance. The heavens are now echoing a single truth. You are rising. Archangel Michael's tears were never a sign of your end, but a symbol of your awakening. Heaven knew that once your heart healed, your authority would increase. You have stepped out of the wilderness carrying something few ever find: divine resilience. It's no longer about waiting for love to find you. It's about remembering that heaven already loved you first. Every scar you carry glows with sacred light, testifying to a soul that refused to be silenced. You are walking proof that even shattered hearts can shine like glass in the hands of God. You have been through the valley, but now heaven calls you upward. The season of being hidden is ending. The light within you can no longer be covered because it has purpose attached to it. You are rising with wings formed in silence, wings that were molded from surrender, stretched by faith, and strengthened by obedience. You are stepping out of the ashes, not fragile, but fiery. The emotional fire you once dreaded has purified you into gold. You no longer tremble from loss. You now carry authority over it. Heaven is realigning your perception. You are no longer the one searching for love. You are the one love is drawn to. Divine energy flows through you now, pulling toward you what matches your frequency. The angels are clearing paths, ensuring that nothing unworthy crosses your destiny again. Every wrong connection has been canceled by decree, and every divine promise is now reactivated by your readiness. This is your hour of empowerment. Heaven is not just healing you. Heaven is crowning you. Archangel Michael speaks. You are no longer the wounded. You are the weapon. You are no longer the broken. You are the breakthrough. What once weakened you has now become your weapon of wisdom. When you speak, the atmosphere listens. When you pray, heaven responds. When you walk, the ground beneath you carries memory of divine authority. So rise. Stand in your light. Look toward the horizon of your becoming. The angels have begun to move ahead of you, opening doors that your pain once kept closed. Every tear you cried has purchased territory in the spirit. Now, you walk in strength that others will feel when they encounter you. The storm that was sent to silence you has become the song that announces your return. This is not the return of the old. This is the arrival of the ordained. You are no longer a seeker of love. You are a carrier of heaven's frequency of restoration. Step forward with peace, and the heavens will echo your name with power. Type "I am rising in power" in the comments if this message burns within you. Blessing code 5151 is now crowning you with divine strength and authority. The hour of revelation has come. The veil between heaven's decree and earthly manifestation is thinning. What was once mystery is now movement. Archangel Michael stands before the throne, his wings spread wide in luminous fire, holding the scroll of your healing. He lifts it, and the heavens echo with your name. Every cry you've whispered in secret, every moment you've surrendered in faith, all of it has been counted, and all of it has brought you here. For this heartbreak was not punishment, it was preparation. Heaven was never withholding love to harm you. It was delaying love to purify you. You see, divine timing does not serve emotion, it serves purpose. The love that heaven has prepared for you is not a mere connection, it is a covenant. And covenants are not rushed. They are revealed in sacred timing. What you call delay, heaven called development. What you saw as silence, heaven saw as construction. Behind the veil of your tears, heaven was crafting a counterpart whose spirit aligns with your anointing. And now, at the appointed time, the heavens have whispered a name into the wind, a name that carries your restoration, your peace, your completion. Archangel Michael's voice resounds. This is your unlocking, the season where heaven matches you with alignment. The person whose name heaven has released carries within them a vibration that resonates with your healing. Their presence will feel familiar, not because you've known them before, but because your spirits were written in the same divine sentence. When they appear, peace will flood your soul before understanding ever reaches your mind. This is how heaven confirms what belongs to you, through peace, not confusion. The revelation of this name will not come through curiosity, it will come through confirmation. Heaven does not tease, it reveals with purpose. You will know because your spirit will remember. The one heaven sends will not drain you, distract you, or delay you. They will align you. They will speak your language of light. Their words will carry restoration. When they look at you, you will not feel the need to prove your worth, for heaven will have already spoken it. Your heartbreak was a classroom for discernment. You learned how to see beyond emotion, how to feel the difference between attention and anointing, between flattery and fruit. Now heaven trusts you with revelation because you've proven you can handle truth. Your endurance has unlocked divine partnership. And so, the heavens are saying, what was withheld is now released. What was delayed is now delivered. What was promised is now present. This revelation is personal, sacred, and holy. Guard it with reverence. Heaven does not give what the heart cannot protect. This next love is not a rescue. It is a reflection. You will not find completion in them, but confirmation of the work God has already done within you. You were healed not so you could attract love. You were healed so you could recognize divine alignment when it stands before you. Archangel Michael now raises his voice across the realms. Your name was spoken in heaven before theirs was released. That is the order of divine love. Heaven speaks your healing before it releases your companion. And now, that sequence has been fulfilled. The angels are positioning paths to collide. The delay is over. The divine alignment begins. Type "Heaven has revealed my alignment" in the comments if you feel this truth in your spirit. Blessing code 6060 now activates your divine recognition. When the word of heaven reaches your heart, it carries not just comfort, it carries calling. Every message like this is a trumpet from heaven sent to awaken sleeping destinies. And you, beloved, can help carry this light further. When you give through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal link in the description, you are not funding words. You are sowing into deliverance. You are extending heaven's hand through your generosity. The word says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." That promise is alive tonight. I feel the heavens open for those who give with faith. This is not a donation. It is a divine exchange. What you release into this ministry, heaven will multiply in your own life. Type "My gift is anointed" in the comments if you are sowing into this word. Blessing code 777 is being released over every seed sown with faith. Now that the revelation has been released, heaven calls for your participation. For what has been declared in the Spirit must now be activated through your agreement. The angels have moved. The path has been cleared. The name that carries your healing is already being positioned, but heaven waits for your yes. This is the moment where faith becomes movement, where surrender becomes strategy. Archangel Michael stands before you with a scroll sealed in light, waiting for your declaration. Heaven has written the promise, but you must open the gate through obedience. Begin to speak this over yourself. I am ready to receive divine alignment. Let that sentence become the rhythm of your heart. Every word you speak in faith builds a bridge between what heaven has finished and what earth has yet to reveal. This is not the time to shrink back into fear or doubt. Your yes carries weight in the spiritual realm. When you say yes, you authorize the angels to finalize what heaven has already decreed. Archangel Michael is ready, his sword gleaming in holy anticipation, waiting for the sound of your surrender to echo upward. This next season is not one of seeking, but of receiving. You have done the inner work. You have been refined through heartbreak, tempered through loss, and molded through endurance. Now heaven invites you to step into manifestation, not with striving, but with peace. Say yes in your spirit before the person appears. Align your heart before the name is revealed. The alignment happens in the unseen first. The visible follows as confirmation. Heaven is not waiting on the right person to appear. It is waiting on your spirit to open fully to divine timing. There is a sacred power in preparation. Heaven will never place divine connection in unprepared hands. Every time you choose peace over panic, patience over control, trust over worry, you are building the spiritual capacity to hold what is coming. Archangel Michael watches as you make these small, holy choices, for they are not unnoticed. Heaven celebrates obedience far more than action. Your stillness is already movement in the realm of spirit. Do not mistake readiness for desperation. You are not waiting for someone to complete you. You are waiting for someone to complement the wholeness you have already become. Heaven does not pair brokenness with brokenness. It unites healing with purpose. The one whose name has been spoken carries restoration in their energy, not rescue. This will not be a connection that drains. It will be one that elevates. Two souls healed by fire will meet, not in desperation, but in destiny. When your spirit aligns, the manifestation becomes inevitable. This connection is not a distraction. It is a divine appointment written before time began. Heaven has been guarding this moment since before you understood its significance. The angels have protected your path, your peace, and even your pauses. Every delay, every detour, every heartbreak was heaven positioning you precisely here, in the intersection between readiness and revelation. Now, all heaven awaits your agreement. Lift your heart and whisper, I say yes to divine timing. I say yes to divine love. I say yes to the one heaven has prepared. Feel the energy shift as you speak it. For in that declaration, power moves. Angels move. Healing moves. You have stepped beyond pain and into purpose. The heart that once bled now beats as a key unlocking its next chapter. You are not stepping into romance. You are stepping into restoration. And every time your heart beats, heaven echoes it with the same rhythm. Alignment. 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 The name will manifest. The moment will come. The waiting is turning into witnessing. And when it does, you will know, because peace will greet you like an old friend. Type ISAYYS to divine alignment in the comments if this word resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 8484 now activates your destiny connection. While the world slept, heaven was awake. When your body lay still beneath the weight of night, your spirit was being rewritten in the light of divine transaction. You may not have known it, but something sacred unfolded in those quiet hours. A silent exchange in the spirit realm. Heaven negotiated your healing. Archangel Michael stood above the altar of your heart, and as the celestial winds moved, light descended like oil, sealing the cracks within you. Every word you spoke in tears, every sigh that escaped your chest became the language heaven used to authorize your restoration. You did not need to understand it. You only needed to endure it. The heavens operate in mysteries beyond mortal sight. While you wept, the angels worked. While you questioned, the divine recorded. The universe shifted in obedience to a single command from the throne: restore what was lost. This was not just an act of mercy, it was an act of justice. The light that poured over you carried fragments of everything that had been stolen: joy, peace, hope, trust, and love. All of it is being returned, not as fragments, but as fullness. The very energy that once drained you is now returning as divine compensation. Heaven has completed a trade: sorrow for serenity, heartbreak for holiness, pain for peace. Archangel Michael's presence hovered like fire and gold, whispering words that only the Spirit could hear. The season of emptiness is finished, he declared. The account of suffering is closed. A new covenant of restoration has been written. Even now, As you listen, the exchange continues. Every old emotion, every memory that has tried to haunt you, is being recalibrated in divine frequencies of peace. The restlessness you have felt lately, that sense of something stirring, is the sound of heaven finalizing your healing. Understand this. When heaven moves, it does not request permission. It declares completion. The silent realm of the spirit is more active than any battlefield on earth. Angels have been negotiating on your behalf, trading your sorrow for supernatural strength, your loneliness for divine companionship. Every tear that once fell became currency. Every heartbreak became evidence in the courts of heaven. Michael stood as witness, ensuring that the enemy who once touched your heart without right now pays restitution through divine favor. Nothing you lost is gone. It has been transferred. The kingdom never subtracts. It multiplies in hidden places. You have felt the tremors of this exchange in your sleep. The moments when you awoke suddenly, feeling warmth over your chest, peace in your pulse, or tears without sadness. Those were not random emotions. Those were signs of completion. Heaven has been resetting your spiritual frequency, preparing you for what was promised. The person whose name was released carries a reflection of this light. The same restoration that has been worked within you will be mirrored in them. You will recognize it not by sight, but by spirit. So rest now, beloved. Rest in the knowing that the heavens have done their part. The exchange has already been signed in the fire of divine justice. Archangel Michael now watches over the seal that has been placed upon your heart, the seal of wholeness, the seal of readiness, the seal of divine love. Nothing broken remains. Nothing stolen lingers. The old cycle has closed with sacred finality. When you wake in the days ahead and feel peace where pain once lived, know this: you are feeling the residue of heaven's trade. You are no longer a vessel of grief. You are a carrier of divine glory. The silent exchange has been completed. Your heart is no longer in fragments. It is information. Type "the exchange is complete" in the comments if you receive this word in your spirit. Blessing Code 9292 now releases divine restoration upon your life. The hour of divine justice has come. The heavens have risen to balance the scales, and the sound of reversal is moving through the spirit realm. You have endured in silence. You have prayed in pain, and now the courts of heaven have spoken. It is finished. Every wrong, every betrayal, every unjust wound that broke your heart has now reached its divine reckoning. Archangel Michael has stepped forward, sword blazing, not in sorrow, but in triumph. His tears have turned to fire. The very realm that once wept over your heartbreak now rejoices in your vindication. Those who mishandled your heart, who spoke carelessly, who played with what heaven calls sacred, will soon witness the glory that rises from your restoration. This is not vengeance, it is divine balance. Heaven is not cruel, it is just. What was taken from you will be returned, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. The same hands that once hurt you will tremble when they see what heaven builds around you. For every night you cried alone, heaven has prepared mornings of overflow. What left you empty will return as abundance. What broke you in silence will now bless you in public. Heaven does not forget. The angels recorded every moment. You chose grace over retaliation. Every time you stayed pure when bitterness would have been easier. Those moments became seeds in eternity, and the harvest of those seeds is now breaking the ground. Divine justice is not a thunderclap, it is a process of reversal. The heavens are restoring in ways that cannot be reversed by man. Your peace is coming back multiplied. Your dignity is being dressed in light. and the love heaven has reserved for you will carry such anointing that it will silence every voice that doubted your worth. Archangel Michael's voice rings out like a trumpet through the realms. The scales are balanced. The books are opened. Let restoration begin. Heaven has decreed compensation. This is not the small return of what was lost. This is the overflow that only endurance can unlock. You will see favor unfold in unexpected places, divine appointments, sudden peace, supernatural provision. Everything that once worked against you will begin to work for you. The delay was not denial, it was evidence gathering. Heaven has gathered proof of your endurance, and now it is rewarding faith with fulfillment. The reversal will not be subtle. You will feel it in your spirit first. A peace that replaces pain, a confidence that rises without reason, a knowing that cannot be shaken. That is the sound of justice fulfilled. You will notice that situations that once brought sorrow now bring revelation. Conversations that once triggered your pain will now remind you of how far you've come. That is the sign of reversal, when what hurt you now honors your growth. Heaven's justice always leaves witnesses. Those who underestimated you will see that heaven was never finished with you. Every lie, every rejection, every silence that once made you doubt yourself will bow before the truth of your elevation. The very places where you were broken will become the altars of your testimony. The divine reversal is already in motion, unseen, unstoppable, undeniable. And through it all, Archangel Michael watches, his presence fierce, his light steady. He is ensuring that no shadow can touch the restoration ordained for you. What heaven restores, no hand can steal. What heaven decrees, no curse can undo. The law of reversal has been signed in fire. You will rise from what tried to ruin you. This is your recompense. This is your recovery. This is your divine justice. The heavens are not punishing those who hurt you, they are promoting the one who endure. Stand tall, beloved. The season of sorrow has closed, and the season of restoration has begun. The storm has returned your strength. The tears have purchased your crown. Type divine justice is mine in the comments if your spirit feels this fire. Blessing code 1010 is now releasing heaven's reversal over your destiny. And now, as the final seal is set and the light of dawn rises upon your spirit, heaven whispers one last truth. Archangel Michael did not cry in vain. His tears were the signal that your season of heartbreak was ending and your chapter of healing was beginning. Heaven has watched, heaven has waited, and heaven has now moved. The name that carries your restoration has already been released into your path. You may not yet know the moment or the meeting, but divine timing is breathing it into existence, even now. The vibration of your healing has become a call that heaven cannot ignore. It draws toward you everything that was meant for your wholeness. Archangel Michael stands beside you, radiant with the light of divine victory, his wings spread wide over your heart. He whispers through the winds of your new morning, you are sealed, seen, and sent. Every prayer you thought was unanswered has already been fulfilled in silence. Every wound that once weakened you has been rewritten as wisdom. The heavens have recorded your endurance, and the earth will soon mirror your redemption. You are not stepping into recovery, you are stepping into radiance. You are no longer the one waiting for love. You are the one through whom love will now flow. Heaven has crowned you with restoration, and nothing can strip the crown away. So breathe deeply. Feel the peace that now surrounds you. What heaven has released cannot be delayed, denied, or destroyed. You are chosen for divine love and healing, and your journey from heartbreak to wholeness has become heaven's testimony of grace. The same Michael who once wept has now lifted his sword toward your future, proclaiming, "It is done." Go forward knowing this truth. The heavens are not watching you in pity. They are watching you in pride. You are a story of endurance written in the language of light. You are loved beyond measure, guided beyond fear, and protected beyond comprehension. Every step from this moment forward carries divine backing. Walk in your anointing. Rest in your promise. The angels are already ahead of you, preparing the meeting that will confirm heaven's prophecy over your life. The heartbreak that once silenced you has now become the song that heaven will use to awaken others. You are whole, you are healed, and you are holy. This is your restoration. This is your renewal. This is your divine return. Type "I am sealed in divine love" in the comments if you receive this final blessing. Blessing code 1212 is now active over your life. Beloved, as we close this sacred message, remember, every word that reaches your heart is part of a divine assignment to awaken others who still sit in silence. If this word has touched you, if it has reminded you that heaven still moves for those who believe, then let your gratitude become your offering. When you give through super thanks, membership, or PayPal link in the video description, you are not giving to a channel. You are sowing into souls. Every gift becomes a light that carries heaven's message to another broken heart. The word says, "Those who sow in tears shall reap with joy," and I declare that this moment of giving will open the floodgates of joy in your life. This is more than generosity. It is prophecy in action. The heavens are open, and every seed sown with faith will return as overflow. Type "My seed is prophetic" in the comments if you are moved to give. Blessing code 999 is now being released over every cheerful giver.